Hey guys, Brock here again. So today I want to talk to everyone about this really cool topic of using CBD to improve our sleep, but also to help regulate melatonin and insulin. So the first thing I want to cover, guys, is melatonin. Melatonin is a chemical that's produced by our pineal glands, that's ultimately produced by our circadian rhythm, right, from the light cycle from the morning to the evening of us going to sleep, and the ultimate fact that our eyes, when they dilate, we start producing melatonin. And this is signaled by the hypothalamus in the brain. We get the signals, lights changing, we get into the evening, red lights coming in, people start to dilate, less light, less light, less light. People are widening out to bring in more light, but that ultimately starts producing or sending signals from our hypothalamus into our pineal gland to start producing this and secreting melatonin into the blood. And all of these are exerted, guys, by receiving these lipid-based metabolites, being melatonin, into our melatonin type 1 and type 2 receptors. So some really cool animal studies have shown the effect that melatonin is correlated to some degree of weight management and our energy balances. So when we introduce melatonin back into our system, it's expressed in the form of insulin sensitivity improvement as well as glucose tolerance. And the one thing that comes with that is as we age, our quality of sleep typically can start to diminish, as well as our diets will change. We can start to overconsume calories, which ultimately prevents us from sleeping. It turns into this kind of like whole cycle and this rhythmic factor that we start to diminish the quality of life through our just general behaviors. If you're not tired, you stay up later. If you're staying up later, waking up multiple times through the night, you're not going through certain things like your REM cycle. Those are topics for another time. I want to keep this all together with the production of melatonin, a quality of sleep, and how CBD is going to help us get a better quality of sleep throughout the night and address all of these same overarching issues that we've been talking about. I want to now bring this over a little bit to insulin, as insulin is produced by the pancreas as a signal to our cells to start utilizing some of that free-flowing glucose through our serum, our blood serum. When we don't have these signals present, right, that's a little bit more of our metabolic dysfunction in terms of diseases such as diabetes, especially type 2, which is something that you can develop at any point in your life because, again, it's a metabolic dysfunction. So when we don't have insulin coursing through our blood, sending out these signals to utilize glucose, we can start accumulating visceral fat because the liver in itself doesn't like to waste energy. So we start getting more visceral fat, right? That's not subcutaneous fat, that's not fat on the outer layer of the body, it's stuff that starts building up around our organs, which causes a whole lot of metabolic stress, and again, that all ties back into oxidative stress. And the nice thing is melatonin regulates insulin resistance. So let's bring this all back into CBD. What the really interesting thing here is that CBD can help regulate a lot of these processes. Again, it is a lipid metabolite, meaning that it is metabolized through our lipid endocrine system, right? It's an endocrine regulator, as well as insulin and all these other metabolites such as melatonin. So you see how all these signals work on different receptors. They're G-coupled protein receptors throughout the body to help elicit and regulate a lot of our hormetic responses to environmental stress. And you see this quite often that people use CBD to combat inflammation, right? Because as we get inflammation, we get what we call cytokines. Cytokines are produced by cells, basically under events of like chemical or environmental stress to produce things like inflammation itself. Not inherently bad because it is something that helps us genetically to survive and how we've adapted over time. When we are metabolically dysfunctional, start to go off the spectrum of what's beneficial. So we help try to balance out that through endocannabinoids such as CBD, like we've been talking about quite a bit. And all these cannabinoids, they are received again through our CB1 and CB2 receptors through an endocannabinoid system within our bodies. So using these terpenes and cannabinoids, because since we do have receptors on our pancreas, on our livers, largely spread out through our entire bodies in a lot of places, you can start to see now how important it is that we can use CBD effectively, and understanding that in response of all these other systems in place, it's in and in itself isn't going to fix the problem, but it works together in a large plethora of different interactions through our body. They're far too complicated for me to get into from some one short video like this, but over time I'm going to keep writing articles and we're going to keep producing these videos to help really paint a larger picture of the whole CBD spectrum that's going to benefit your health and your metabolic function. And CBD also helps regulate a lot of the processes addressed to oxidative stress, as well as searching out and rectifying a lot of the components necessary to deal with oxygen-free radicals, right? Again, when you have a lot of oxygen, or these like small atoms of like oxygen floating around through our cellular matrix, kind of, you know, all on their own, they can interact with other compounds and other chemicals and make new molecules, such as lipid peroxide, which inherently has a whole lot of other health risks associated with that. So let's continue on and let's bring this all back together. So one, we want to improve our quality of sleep. That's a given. When we improve our quality of sleep, we're going to get more melatonin production, we're going to have better sleep, so we're going to get better recovery, especially those who are athletic or, you know, athletes in your own right. A quick couple little tips, guys, is that if you are searching out for CBD products, broad spectrum is great, full spectrum is even a little bit better. That's just a personal choice, because I like to get all the compounds I can from hemp as well as cannabis, depending on what type of product you choose. A new CBD specializes all with hemp-derived CBD, and we largely like to utilize full spectrum compounds in all of our products if possible, because that again includes a variety of different cannabinoids, a lot of different terpenes. It's not that you have to find one product with CBD and has beta-caryophyllene. A lot of the times, depending on the genetics that you used, it will include a variety of different compounds. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, feel free to share this information with anyone you feel like it's pertinent to. It's largely all about the information out there. The science, the current research, it is super tedious to get all through. If you're not a scientist, that's why we're doing this kind of stuff, to help really build the community up with factual information, and again, not just to regurgitate like CBD is great for this, CBD is great for that, la 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 la. Because again, all you're gonna hear is the same thing over and over and over again. What we're trying to do, guys, is take what interests us and project it to you. If you like this, make sure you give us a follow at A New Day Official, as well as check out our site. We have a lot of really great articles that go in more depth about these subjects. We're trying to produce stuff as much as possible all the time. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. Again, you can DM us, email us, whatever you want, and we're happy to chat.